Spooky shit, isn't it?
I was
Spooky shit.
thinking if we want to censor, we can say spooky dookie. Just came to me there.
I'm not saying spooky dookie. I'm a grown
Spooky
man.
dookie.
Spooky dookie.
For the kids.
Get a grip. For the kids. It's only fuzzy, man. Yeah. Fuzzy, do you want spooky shit or do you want spooky dookie? Let one know in the chat. All right? Well, in fact, he already has. Look at that.
Yeah.
Hope we're all good, boys. Love the time we spent. Hashtag spooky shit. Spooky dookie. Anyway, it's nice to see you, James. We're here for another chat about all the horror news and reviews. We've got lots of interesting stuff to talk about tonight. Fuzzy's not wanting censorship, absolutely not. We've got a lot to get through, and it's fair to say we've just come off a recording, and it's been a bit tense, James. So
it was very heated, wasn't it?
Very heated.
We really could not have taken more opposite opinions on it than we did.
Yeah. So this will be nicer. We'll get back on track here, because I have to say, for a moment I was thinking that's it. We're done. It's the great split. We're going to walk away. Do you know what I mean? But we'll push through.
Actually, I know that. I can't do this myself. I need you, literally.
I wouldn't. I've got plenty of other people.
Maybe I could get an AI to fill in, maybe.
An AI Geordie. Can you imagine? An AI Geordie.
I'll just make it watch all of Geordie Shore and it'll come out with
Geordie Shore.
Yeah.
God.
Why?
Anyway, let's see who we've got in the chat. We have got good old Fuzzy of the Dunlop. He's saying he didn't make up Spooky Dookie. Exactly, Fuzzy. Exactly. And Rip Shelley, we'll talk about that in a little bit, mate. We'll talk about that in a sec. Dr. Von Hoot is Spooky Dookie when a ghost cacks us. Absolutely. Good stuff.
There is a movie where a ghost shits on something, isn't there? Like a ghost leaves a shit on a thing.
A ghost shit.
Am I just gone mad and I just completely made that up?
It's not a one I think I've seen, James, but I mean, you watch some strange stuff.
I do. That's fair.
Okay, so there you have it, Ghost Cack. We've got, like I say, Von Hood. Please do make sure you check out his live show tomorrow night at 10 p.m. I'm free, Von Hoot. If there's a seat, give us a shout. Let us know. Dead Man, we have got Dead Man in the chat. Please check out. Good evening. Do check out Dead Man's YouTube channel. He's pushing out daily content almost, and he's been to see his tech guy today. So he's got himself a web camera and stuff set up. So he's going to be joining us for a This Is My, hopefully in the future, and hopefully jumping on some live shows. So that'll be great fun. Fuzzy saying, evening Terry, aka YouTube's newest, brightest star. Move over, Comic Tom. Comic Terry 101 is taking over. Absolutely, bud. Absolutely. Speaking of Comic Tom, I'm going to be doing a This Is My with Comic Tom in the next few weeks. He's confirmed that, so that'll be fun. Von Hoot. I had to explain what 2 ladies 1 cup was to my mother. That was uncomfortable.
We were talking about that not too long ago. Where was that? It was one in London.
Weatherspoons.
Yeah,
No, it was
Weatherspoons.
Weatherspoons.
Of course. Yeah.
It was when we were at what bubble I think, because Charlie showed with a video, because I'd never seen it and I didn't know what they were talking about.
Oh yeah. And then we went down a weird rabbit hole then.
Well, there was lots of holes, yeah.
Okay. Moving on.
Jesus Christ, this has started off poorly. Yeah. That sounds like a great idea. Whoever had that idea, it must be a clever chap. Fuzzy's talking about Terry coming on This Is My, because it was Fuzzy who said, wouldn't it be a good idea to see if Terry would do that? And I did ask, and Terry's game, so that's going to be good fun. Okay, right, let's crack on, because we've got lots to get through, some interesting stuff. James is on the wacky backy again.
What do you mean again?
He's never on it.
Scandalous accusation.
Oh, just look at that shit.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, so as Fuzzy mentioned earlier, very sadly, Shelley Duvall passed away. Obviously, his horror channel will know Shelley predominantly from The Shining, which has been mainstream of movies for a long, long time.
But like an icon of horror on one performance, like really, in terms of like a not victim, but like a heroine performance.
Yeah.
Like that final sequence is some of the best acting I think I've ever seen. Like an actress playing a scared character. Like there's just terror on her face, and I know she went through absolute hell filming that scene as well.
I was going to say, if you look at some of the kind of the documentaries and things about, there's some horrific stories about the filming of that movie. To be honest, it's really quite.
I was only watching
scary.
the other day behind the scenes of it, and it was like Jack Nicholson pumping himself up. He was like,
I saw that.
"Oh, yeah." I was
that.
like, "Wow!"
Yeah.
It was right before shooting.
Yeah.
Like,
Fuzzy saying that picture of her behind the door will live on for another 50 years. Iconic. Absolutely.
Like probably one of the most iconic shots in a movie ever, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it's just stunning. Absolutely
history.
Stunning. Von Hoot is saying, I'm sure I've seen her in a bunch of stuff, but The Shiner's one that's burned into my memory. Was she, and correct us in the chat, guys, please, if you can, because I think I'm right. But did she play Olive in Popeye?
Popeye, yes.
Yeah, I thought she did.
Yeah, with Robin Williams, yep.
Yeah. Just incredible. Incredible. Very sad. Very sad. Okay. James. Bit of Sam Raimi action. Bit something to do with Desert Island? What's this all about?
Yeah. So Sam Raimi is returning to horror. He is set to direct and produce a horror thriller. It's called Send Help for 20th Century Fox. It's been described as Misery meets Castaway.
Right.
So I assume it's
Misery.
Two characters.
It's Castaway.
Yeah. Well, it's not fucking sorry, but like it's two characters trapped on an island, and one of them is a psycho. Basically, is I think the kind of idea. So that sounds like a really fun idea.
I mean, yeah, that sounds like a great.
Just Sam Raimi, I just love his work. Like, and his horror movies are just cream of the crop, So I'm very excited to see how this turns out.
I mean, the more I'm thinking of that, it's sorry, my dogs are going crazy downstairs. I don't know if you can hear that. Yeah.
The cage must be knocking on the door.
Yeah, coming to see us. I guess it's interesting. I'm interested to know more about the movie in terms of, is it just two people and one of them is a bit of a psycho, or is there going to be some kind of supernatural monster element? Because he's well known for his, the kind of the Raimi special effects.
You need the sweepy
kind of
shots and stuff like that. So what's going to do that in this? Yeah, and like you have Evil Dead obviously, but then like Drag Me to Hell. The other horror thing. He's not really done outside of that.
Multiverse of Madness, I guess.
Horror movies.
Yeah.
I suppose you sort of class that as a horror movie. Yeah. It's got horror elements, certainly. Those are my favorite parts of that movie as well, was the spooky stuff. The spooky shit.
I agree.
The spooky dookie. So, I'm absolutely all gears for this, man. I can't wait. Hopefully this doesn't take too long to come out either.
I'm interested. I am interested. Fuzzy saying, honestly, I can take or leave Sam Raimi. People load of them, but nah.
One of my favorite directors, Fuzz. So yeah,
Fuzzy,
I've just always loved him.
Sit on that, because we're going to come back to a theme around that at the end of the show that I want to pick up on, that I've not really talked to James about. So keep that one under your hat for the time being. Bruce Campbell into everything lost its appeal to me a long time ago. I love the chin. I love Bruce Campbell. But I think Multiverse of Madness, when he was shoehorned into that, was it a hot dog seller or something? It was just, it wasn't good. I mean,
it wasn't good. Such a missed opportunity to not make him a variant of, like, Doctor Strange or a variant of, like, Iron Man or something like that. Like, that would have been so perfect for that. Like, why would you? Yeah. Such a waste of him.
Waste.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm excited about this. This is Trap.
What was the news on Trap again?
I've no idea. You put this one in. I didn't put the slide up.
Well, you put the slide in. I have the news. Let me get my news thing up. Hang on. There's some news on Trap. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's rated PG-13, which is a little bit. I don't think it needs to be super violent, but like things can be rated R for being scary or being too so tense or whatever. So I when I hear that, I'm a bit like, okay. But then I don't know, it was old PG-13 though either.
I'm lost off with ratings, I have to be honest, because a horror movie doesn't have to have lots of blood and gore in it, and I don't think this will have blood and gore in it. It's more psychological tense and things, and from the trailer it looks like people getting pushed downstairs and stuff. So I guess, how do you classify that in terms of rating? It doesn't need an 18, does it? It's kind of but I suppose like you can only go so dark with it. Like, it's not gonna, I think that rules out. I don't know. The narrative of stories can go pretty, I mean, you look at some of the Disney stuff, narrative of the story can go pretty darn dark. It's the ratings more to do with bad language, gore, sex and violence on screen. Do you know what I mean?
It did say mild, like mild swearing and some violence. So like, Yeah, I think probably there'll be some stabbings maybe in it, but like again, not too many. Like you're not gonna have a really hardcore scene in this. Like it's gonna be pretty much.
Howard and James, let's call it now. Shamalama Ding Dong loves a good twist, doesn't he? What's the twist in this movie?
I think the daughter.
Saying, Howard, fuck off. I was going to say
I
that.
think the daughter might be the one doing it or something.
The daughter's the killer. That's my call. Yeah. The daughter's the killer.
Well, I said it first.
He knows about it and he's protecting her. Yeah. So he knows the daughter's the killer. So he's letting her have the show, and he's doing everything he can to try and protect her, so they can both kind of escape. So he's basically a willing accomplice.
As well as that, I've sort of the shots of the trailer. I don't know. I haven't seen the newest trailer. I don't know if this shows that, but it looks to me like in some parts of the trailer that she's going to get to meet like she gets backstage at some point. Like she, there's a part where there's an earpiece and they're surrounded by security guards. Yeah. And one character says this is going to be the best night of her life. So I wonder is like the daughter wants to kill the pop star maybe or something like that. That could be a part of it, or kidnap her like a misery kind of thing.
I kind of wish, mind, the pop star is such a big think it features prominently in this trailer. And unless I'm just old and I don't recognise her. But it would have been nice to have had a big name star as the performer.
So she is a singer. I mean? That is also Shyamalan's daughter, so there's a bit of a nepotism going on there as well. Right. But not the daughter that did The Watchers. It's his other daughter. Oh, okay. But she is actually a singer and a pop star. Not like a huge one, but like I don't keep the budget in control. I don't think it would be a bit weird to have it be a real like the pitch for this was it's like at a Taylor Swift concert. That was how he said it. It's like the horror movie at a Taylor Swift concert. But Silence of the Lambs, I think he said at a Taylor Swift concert. But it'd be weird if you actually got Taylor Swift and did it as a real Taylor Swift. That'd be strange, So like I think it's good to have a fictional pop star for it,
I'm looking forward to this one, but I have to say I've looked forward to a fair few horrors over the last month or two, and majority of them have left us cold. So you can see the reviews for them on our channel, but I have to say I'm going in very hopeful for this. I just hope it's not gonna let us down. Fuzzy saying got Dexter vibes. Absolutely agree, Fuzzy. That scene, well, the trailer certainly gives you that. And actually, he would be a superb Dexter. I wish they would do. I know we've got the prequel coming, but I love the concept of Dexter. I wish we'd get more from that. Psycho and Jaws are 12 ratings, so 12s are rating, so 12s ratings are meaningless. Get you on that, Von Hoot.
Well, there was no PG-13 when either of those movies came out, though. So the 12s because it was 12s or 18s, like I assume.
I know there was no 12s when Jaws came out. 12 over in the UK
that was only established when the Raiders and it was Batman, was it? Because I know Raiders introduced PG-13. It was Raiders of the Lost Ark and I think Gremlins. I think both of those. They were like they're not kids movies, but they're not adults movies. So where'd you put it? Yeah. I'm still stoked. I'm stoked for this though. I really I've seen 2 trailers for it today, the original one, but I'm just like I just love the idea so much. I'm just so excited to see. Like I love Josh Hartnett. Like he's just not been around that much lately, so like I'm happy to see him take a starring role as this like off character.
You know what? I think you're right. Josh Hartnett hasn't been around for a while, but he's a bloody good actor. I mean, correct us if I'm wrong again in the chat. I'm sure he plays the lead in 30 Days of Night. And he's fantastic.
Yes, he is.
In that,
but even that was sort of, and he's also he's very good in Penny Dreadful. He's really good in that as well. So even those 2 movies were sort of resurgences. Like he was kind of a late 90s, early 2000s kind of heartthrob actor, and then he just sort of disappeared. He was going to be Chris Nolan wanted him for Batman.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And like he turned it down. He actually said no. Like he was offered it and everything. He would have been a great Batman.
Yeah, looking forward to this. I think this will be tremendous. Oh, The Faculty. I love The Faculty. That's a very cool one. Yeah, since I've seen that, I have to go back and rewatch that one. Okay. Long legs, James. This is the phone number that you ring, and I have not rang it. So what happens when you ring it?
Would you want to ring it and find out?
What, can we? I don't know. Go on.
I believe so. Sarl said, you just want me to call it in case it's an American thing and they charge you?
Yeah. My wife will not let us call America.
I'll take it. I don't know, do you have to do a plus thing? That. Put the thing back up. Do you know what's annoying is we were talking to a friend of ours, Sarl, yesterday, and he gave me the number for the UK one. I think it was the same one, and he called it, but I can't find where I wrote it down. I wrote it down somewhere and I just don't remember where. So I'm just going to call this one.
They'll cost you a fortune. If it's America, you're mad.
That's grand. I think it's a free phone number.
Oh, Efren's calling as well. Efren, don't, mate. You'll not sleep tonight.
Calls to this number are not allowed.
Okay. Well, that's disappointing.
It's
Isn't it?
terrifying. It's terrifying.
Give me 1 second. I'll find it. I'll find it. I want to do this. This is riveting to hear, isn't it?
So this is for a movie called Longlegs, which we might touch on later on the show. But both myself and James have been to see this today, fresh back. That's why I'm late tonight. So yeah, lots to say about that one.
Where did I? Fuck my life. Where did I write it down? Sorrel's in the track.
UAA and X back.
Do you have to put a plus or something on the front to get it now?
Not a clue.
I would have thought I'd have put it in my docs, but I don't see it anywhere. I thought I wrote it at the top of something. I know this is riveting. Right, we'll move on and we'll come back to it. Okay, I'll try and find it.
Rosemary's Baby.
So Rosemary's Baby is getting a prequel series at Paramount. It's called Apartment 7A, I think. It's like there's screenshots from it, so it's coming soon. Have you seen Rosemary? I've never actually watched it myself. Is it good?
I have, but probably about 40 years ago. Rosemary's Baby, I'm sure. I think they redid it. Someone corrected it wrong. Did they redo it with Reese Witherspoon or someone like? I can't speak. Okay. I think they redid it with Reese Witherspoon or whatever you call her. Might be wrong. I think so. But the original was superb, and it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I'm just putting in the chat if anyone's got the number. But Longlegs. Anything else about Rosemary's Baby before we move on, James?
No, I just thought it was news. I'm not really I probably won't watch this because I've not seen Rosemary's Baby. I don't know if I'll end up watching it by then and then become a fan and watch it. So
Efren's rang the number. Someone was ringing happy birthday.
I'm sorry. How do you? What's the plus you put on American numbers?
No idea. Saw a review for Deadpool 3 today. They showed the first 40 minutes to press, and he said if the second half of the film is as good, it may be the best movie yet. That's tremendous to hear, Fuzzy. I cannot wait to see this film. I really cannot wait.
Yeah. Get it back up there. The number.
There you go.
Okay. Right. So it says 001.
Message Sorrel and ask him.
458-666-4355.
The anticipation.
Imagine it's a real phone number.
You're through the light.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That might have just cost me 50 quid. We'll see. That was worth it, I think. That was pretty creepy.
What do you think? Cock off, that's weird.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
You know what? The marketing. There's another marketing thing for this film. We're going to talk about later as well. But I think the marketing has been genius for this movie.
And just so you're aware, that's Nick Cage. That voice was Nicolas Cage because that's a direct scene from the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. I like that.
But yeah, it's just the way that they've handled it. Like I went to see it today at a 3:30 screening, full to the brim. There wasn't a spare seat, which you'd never see. Like we went to see Maxine at like Saturday at 7:00 or something, and it wasn't even that full. So
yeah, my theatre was full as well tonight. My theatre was full tonight as well. But we'll talk about it later because what's this? This is Frankenstein, isn't it?
Frankenstein's been moved up, so it was originally coming out in December. It's coming out in September now, so it'll be out not that far off. You would think September is not that. It's not September next year, is it? Maybe September next year. Has it been pushed back? I should check these
Keegan,
things.
do you know what I
before put
mean?
them in. I'm
pull
off the
yourself
ball today,
together,
guys.
lad. What is going on with you tonight?
Who's Maggie Gyllenhaal? Frankenstein, isn't it?
Do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. Next time we've got a show on, we'll get some, some structure.
Yes, it's just so it's been pushed. So it was coming out originally October. Oh no, so it has been moved up, but it's only been moved up a week. Well, that's not anything then, is it? Who cares? Sorry for wasting your time, guys.
Maxine, let's talk about
Maxine. Okay, this is what I do know. So Maxine, we have a review for it up on the channel. We've also done X, but Maxine has had the highest opening of any film in the X series, and I think awesome. That's cool. I think it needs to, because it's obviously very clearly the biggest budget one. Like you have some, the first two. The first one I think has some no, probably not even. Like Brittany Snow was like kind of not has been, but like hadn't been in a thing for a while. Jenna Ortega was still fresh. Like she wasn't in. That was pre-Wednesday and Scream and everything. So and Mia Goth wasn't really that well known either. So the first one doesn't really have that many known people in it. But Maxine is just an all-star cast, so I think it needed the oomph. But I think the interesting thing is that Ty West did say, depending on how Maxine does, he'll do a fourth one. So I think if this is this is already made more than the other two have, it's pretty clear we're going to get another one.
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed that it started off getting incredible reviews, but the reviews are starting to dip now in terms of overall percentages and things like that. But it's an interesting one. There's a review. Is it out, the review? It is out, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's
yesterday, I think.
Yeah. So check out a review over on the channel there. Dead Man Sin, there's a mini-series in 2014 of Rosemary's Baby. Missed that. Second one's in this trilogy's Pearl.
Pearl.
Ex-Pearl, then Maxine.
But you don't need... Pearl's a prequel, so Fuzzy, if you're interested in watching Maxine, I would watch Pearl. I would watch X first.
Yeah.
Because I think it ties pretty heavily into X.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need to, but I think it adds a lot to it if you do.
I
think it's a better movie as well.
I don't think you need to watch Pearl, but
you could skip Pearl if you want to. But that adds some interesting context, but it's not. It's a side thing. It's also very tonally different, I think, to the other two movies. Like Pearl is very serious, whereas X and Maxine are very fun movies.
Yeah. Be interested to know what you think of it, guys, because the three movies, and it's interesting to know how people rate them. Because myself, James, and Sorrel have all kind of put them in slightly different orders and things. So it's interesting to know what you thought of them overall. Yeah. I'm pleased it's doing well. I wasn't as enamoured with this film as perhaps you were, but I would still like to see more in this universe. Do you know what I mean? So I would like to see it do well, so we'll get a fourth film in the franchise, I think, and take it down a different route.
Yeah.
I don't know how exciting I am a little bit about this, mind.
We have a new... What would this be? The sixth MonsterVerse movie has been announced. It is dated now. It's coming out. I will get the date now. I believe it's September 2027. So that if it was sooner, I would have said, like, if it was 2026, I probably would have said that's probably another monster thing. But surely this is another Godzilla Kong movie.
Yeah, must be. Yeah. Must be.
Where does this go now? Where do you
know
go
what?
next?
I'm all right with this because it's just mindless popcorn bollocks. Do you know what I mean? These are the kind of films you can go and sit and switch your brain off, and just have a bit of a giggle. You haven't got to think too carefully at them, so I don't mind this. I'm not a big fan of pink Godzilla. Mind, I don't like.
I didn't like that. I didn't really like the new one, to be honest. I was a bit on it. Like, I think the human characters were just dog shit. And I also was unfortunate how close it came out to -1, which was phenomenal.
Yeah, which was phenomenal.
So I would like to see the new one take some lessons from that. Maybe like try and give us characters. I know they have tried. They are trying, but like succeed in giving us characters that we like and care about.
But no, I wouldn't invest your time and effort into that. We've seen, what was the film? There's something we've seen recently, which it's just purely based on the monster. And there's very little human character in it. My point being, Sorry?
Planet of the Apes?
Again?
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes. Yeah, Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. Whereas there's almost no humans in there, barely any humans
that's what I mean. You people go see this film for the monsters, So just give her a film which 90% monster. Do you know what I mean? I'm not interested in the friggin' dentist bloke from the last film and the side characters, and it was just crap.
Yeah, but like they already did the Kong and Baby Kong kind of thing. So like, what do you do with Kong that it doesn't have buildings being smashed and shit? The budget's gonna balloon otherwise.
Yeah. See, I'm with Von Hoot. Just give us monsters fighting. Give us an hour and a half. Do you know what? If I'm going to see human characters, what I want to see is, and that's maybe the next step for this franchise, I want to go back to something like Pacific Rim, where the humans are interesting because they're in big mech suits and they're part of the action. They're not just running around underfoot.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you know what I mean?
Or they're just there to be slaughtered.
Kill them. Kill them all.
Like Kong Skull Island, I think has some really fun because they're more cartoony in that as well. I think they're very caricature-y. But I like the human characters in that one because they're sort of all there to be killed. They're the victims of the movie.
Absolutely.
So I think put the humans in a survivor. Don't have them. Oh, we have to go help. We have to go fucking put a big gauntlet on Kong or shit. Like just have them on Skull Island trying to survive, or like they're making their way through kaiju infested areas or monster infested areas, and they're trying to survive.
And Von Hoot's right here. There's so many different variations of monsters. You can have a new MonsterVerse movie, but keep Kong and Godzilla as kind of side characters. They maybe show up for a little bit, but give us something new and interesting.
No, I think it's their show now, so you gotta have Godzilla and Kong in the title. So,
couple of comics for you, James. Couple of comics. Stuff of Nightmares, Red Murder. This is by Boom Studios. Boom Studios, by the way, is just been sold, which is interesting. Yes. So that's quite big news. Penguin, I think it was.
Right. Okay.
So
that's going to give them more resources then, isn't it?
Yeah. So this is based on R.L. Stein's work. I really enjoyed this. Each issue is going to be a separate kind of storyline. This one was called Red Murder. You get introduced to this guy at the start here with the red glasses. Can't remember his name, but he's basically your crypt keeper. He's the one telling you your story,
Okay.
This was a really interesting little tale. A little bit predictable, but it had some good action in it. Basically about a guy who's working in an infected blood lab and the blood gets spilled on him. And for whatever reason, it means that he needs to consume blood. So he wants to drink as much blood as he can. Turns out that character, because you get the kind of the Pulp Fiction version of that origin at the start, turns out that that was all just kind of a comic book, and you're following the tale of the person that writes the comic. And this Red Murder has become a film franchise and all kinds of stuff. The character that we saw at the start. But then people start getting bumped off and someone's wandering around in a Red Murderer costume. It's a bit of a kind of a murder mystery. That
sounds cool. Yeah.
There's a good little twist at the end that I have to be honest, I didn't see coming. So yeah, I enjoyed this. I love my anthology type stories. I'm an old man. I enjoy a one and done tale where I haven't got to read 15 issues to understand what's happening. So this kind of storytelling works for me. So yeah, really enjoyed that. If you like your horror, I'd recommend checking that out. Just to also note, James, a couple of months back, I told you that I'd found I can't remember who the studio is that does it now. Von Hoot might know in the chat, but a studio that were doing a continuation of My Bloody Valentine.
Yes.
Not My Bloody Valentine. That's the My Bloody Valentine on the right one in the pits and things. Are you
gonna? It's a continuation of the original film.
Yeah, continuation. Yeah, I read the first issue. I read the first issue. It was dog shit, absolute dog shit. The artwork was vile. It just didn't do it for us. So I have to say, it didn't complete the issue.
So because you probably at this stage have forgotten characters' names and stuff like that, but there's sort of a twist in the remake from the original, so there's an unexpected moment. So I was hoping that wouldn't spoil it because we haven't done the original yet. But at this stage you've probably just forgotten.
Do you know what? It was hurting the eyes. So I didn't read it properly.
That's a shame.
Fuzzy can't really call it Boom Indie anymore. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah. Von Hoot, gonna check this one out. Sounds ace. It is, mate. It's good. Be interested in seeing what you think of it.
So was this a pre-existing R.L. Stein story that they've adapted, or is he writing the comic?
I think he's writing. Okay.
So this is an original comic book. It's not based on a
I
book.
think
that he's
as far as I know, I didn't read into the background of it. As far as I know, it was written by him.
Cool.
Which I
Love ours.
rebooted DC Comics out in a few weeks. Can't wait for that, Fuzzy. And we've got Frankenstein, and the covers for that look absolutely amazing. Told you about the new Frankenstein relaunch. Each issue is told from the perspective of one of his body parts. So it's how he got his arm, how he got his leg.
Is this the Universal Monsters one?
Yeah.
Like ties in with the Dracula and the.
So
hopefully,
I think it's 4 or 5 issues, and like I say, each issue is the story behind how he got his leg, or the story behind how he got his arm.
Oh, it's like an origin for where the body part came from.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, I have to read that. Yeah.
So really like that.
That's a great idea.
Really cool. Yeah. Not really horror, but kind of sticking mainstream, I guess. I just wanted to say I read this. This was Wolverine Deep Cut. This is written by Chris Claremont, a big stable of the Marvel Universe.
Yep.
It
created most of the iconic X-Men and villains and stuff in the 90s, 80s, 90s.
Jumps back in time to the time when the X-Men were all thought dead, and I think they were in Arizona or Texas, I can't remember where they were, but everybody thought they were dead. So it's a bit of a surprise because it doesn't really explain that too well, but it's not in current continuity, if you know what I mean. It's going back. This is basically a kind of a no-holds-barred fight between Wolverine and Sabretooth. There's a twist at the end about that. But I got a surprise at just how gory this was. So you see at this point here, Wolverine literally gets his eyes plucked from his body and ripped out, and there's beheadings and things, and it was really, really quite visceral. So if you fancy reading just a kind of a gritty, bloody version of Wolverine, this is probably worth picking up. There's I don't know if it's a mini or a continuation story, but issue 2 has him versus some of the Marauders, I believe. But it's okay. It's not bad.
Such a striking panel, that though. That screams instant classic to me. I think that'll be one people will call back to.
And they do a really good twist in it. So slight spoilers, guys, but they do a really good twist. So Sabretooth thinks he's kind of beaten Wolverine here. And you get a bit of a smirk from Wolverine. And he says what people sometimes forget is how healing power is not his only mutant power. All of his senses are enhanced as well. So actually being blind is a benefit to him. And he kicks Sabretooth's ass because he can't see. Okay. So that's pretty cool.
Just close your eyes, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Couple of toy things for you to just look at. I think that Vampire Lord by SSR is awful. I like the head sculpt, but the body just looks diabolical to me. Not keen on that. I think it's the kind of the black plastic sticking on the top. Do you know what I mean? As well, on the top of the cape.
Oh, you think that's the thing? I think it's the fabric looks too thin. There should be some padding underneath, I think, instead of... It looks like the actual lumpy, figures poking. Yeah.
So not keen on that one. Not buying that. We've just had a Wolverine Sabretooth story, 2 and 3. You're absolutely right, Fuzzy. He seems to be the man of the moment in terms of battles backwards and forwards. We've got some, not that I collect pops, but I thought I'd put one up. We've got a Xenomorph pop from the new Alien Romulus movie coming out. Now, I was in an Aliens mood last week, I think it was. So me and my son sat down and watched, I get it wrong, Prometheus, I think it is. Is that the second one?
Not Romulus. Romulus is a new one. Covenant.
Covenant. Yeah, we'll watch Covenant. You know what? It's not a bad film. I don't like what they do with the origin of the aliens. Yeah. In terms of making it this tube, basically.
Some good alien stuff in that movie, though.
Yeah, it's a decent little film. I
think the alien stuff is good. It's the Prometheus shit I don't like in it.
Yeah.
And I don't like Prometheus really as a movie, but guys, again, because I saw a couple horror movies today in the cinemas. There was a trailer for this in front of both of them, and like the same trailer. I was just pumped. I think it looks so good. Like just like in the newest trailer, the he's kind of caught the face hugger, so the impregnation thing is just kind of barely going in his mouth, and it's like he's spitting it out. It's disgusting. Like
it feels to me that hopefully some of these bigger franchises, and I would count Terminator in that potentially, hopefully, because I would like to see more from the Terminator universe, not necessarily with Arnie, but it feels to me that they've looked at the success of Predator, Prey, and they've thought, actually, do you know what people want is just for it to go back to basics a little bit and kind of recapture what we enjoyed in the original movies. So in Prey, you've literally got someone fighting a predator. No big convoluted
basics,
story.
yeah.
Yeah. This trailer looks like Alien 1. It looks like stuck on a ship, facehuggers running around, aliens running around.
A horror.
I don't want more than
proper
that, really.
horror.
Yeah.
To be fair, now I'm pretty sure Fede Alvarez has been attached to an Alien movie for a long time, like before Prey even came out. So and I know Neil Blomkamp was supposed to be doing one. There's also a show, I think, at some point.
Yeah,
being
that's
worked
what
on.
Fuzzy
That
said.
might still have Neil Blomkamp. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what that's gonna end up being. I think there was rumors Sigourney Weaver's in that.
Okay, interesting. I would also just push. I haven't read the latest issue yet. I don't know if I'm behind or not, but the What If Marvel What If Aliens is really cool. It's very very cool. The one written or partially written by the guy who played Burke. I'm enjoying that. That's good fun.
Yeah. The pop itself though, doesn't look that different. Like I have an Alien pop from the original film. It doesn't look looks the same to me. I did. It was only because I was in Switzerland a few years ago, and I went to Gruyere, and there's the Geiger, H.R. Geiger, who designed the Alien, a museum based on him because he's from there, and there's like all his sketches and stuff. I had never noticed that the head is translucent and you can see the skull underneath it.
Yeah, yeah.
I just my entire life just that blip by me. So yeah, I like that you can kind of this pop highlights that. I think that's quite cool. It's just like it makes it more freaky looking.
Not sure. Again, this is the same as another image of an alien we've seen. You can see its eyes behind the translucent.
Yeah, that's
not
cool.
What I think of that.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I don't know what the fuck. These are from Super 7. I just spotted these today. Misfits. I've never seen these before in my life. I presume
band,
are these. I don't know. Is it a band or is it
band,
wrestling figures? But these are based on Masters of the Universe designs.
Why?
Cack. Not for me at all. But just awful. Just awful. Yeah.
You had to fucking sneak Lego into this bloody show.
Jaws. Look at that. Jaws. Oh,
I think
Fuzzy's confirmed it's a punk band. Thanks, Fuzzy. Thanks for you.
I think it is as far as cool as a Lego set can get. That's pretty cool. If you're a Jaws fan, I think that's a pretty cool set to have. But
so my question for you. Firstly, you're right. My feelings on Lego. I agree with Fuzzy. I think the shark looks terrible. I do appreciate the fact that they've somehow managed to kind of put the water effect with the shark's tail in the water. I think that's pretty interesting. Yeah. But the thing that jumped out at this for me was, what would you think if Lego decided this was a winner and the next thing we get is like a Friday the 13th camp scene Lego set or a Scream set or something like that? like fucking
Camp
Crystal Lake.
The house at the end of Scream. Was that Stu's house at the end of Scream, or like Nightmare on Elm Street?
Would you be tempted
with Freddy? No. I've won Legos. It'd be cool to look at. I've one Lego set and I'd never built it.
I remember the Lego set. I remember because we did a show
years ago. It is currently above my wardrobe. And
you said you were going to build it by the next show, and that was like 2 years ago. So it's still not built.
Yep. I found out it was 12 hours to build. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I just, my girlfriend said she'll build it for me, so when I have room to put it in a thing, I will do that. But not currently.
So yeah, let's move on from Lego because it's shit. Oh, speaking of shit. I don't know why I'm so angry and offended by this. I really don't, because the trailer, it looks like it's got some interesting horror effects in it.
Yes, I like the spookiness of it.
Yeah, but something's not working for us.
I think it's, I think it's the color of him. And I think it might be even the color grading in the film. It just doesn't look very polished to me. Like, and like looking at him. If you look at him, and you look at a picture of that's what Hellboy looks like. So this shouldn't be offensive. I don't know if it's because we've just come off of. Obviously, you have a very iconic take with Ron Perlman. And then David Harbour's version was only 4 years ago, maybe, if even. So maybe 5. So I don't know if that's it. And this is an actor nobody knows, and that's the kind of the issue. Like I know he was in Shang-Chi. He's the big guy that he fights on the train. And he's Black Tom Cassidy in Deadpool 2 as well, in the prison scene.
It
So he's a
just
small actor.
it just didn't work for us. The trailer. It felt like a really low budget kind of.
Well, that's like low budget can be a good thing because the you have to get creative then, but the Hellboy as a concept, I feel is you need a bit of a budget for what the movie's probably going to want to do. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, he's sort of a paranormal detective kind of thing.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need a huge budget for that, but like it doesn't look it doesn't look grim enough for me. Like, I think it should be a bit darker. Like this looks very bland. Like the contrast should be higher, the blacks should be
very
blacker,
beige.
it's
Very beige.
yeah.
Von Hood saying Lego won't do properties based on content for adults, but I've been desperate for a Camp Crystal Lake set for ages. Yeah, very cool. Fuzzy is saying the Guillermo del Toro was so
Go on
good.
to that.
I don't think yeah, that's what I said. I don't think I'll ever accept another Hellboy. It's just unnecessary to me. I think that's part of the problem for me, Fuzzy, because, and I would probably argue the second film is my favourite out of the two originals.
I've only seen the first.
You've not seen the second?
I've only seen the first one.
Enjoy this second.
I saw the first one in the cinemas when I was like 8 or 9, I think. And that was really cool. It's
I mean, the second
scariest
one,
thing I'd seen at the time, you know.
correct us if I'm wrong in the chat, but I'm sure the second one has got a horrific scene. It's proper horror at the start where they let some like tooth fairies loose, and it's horrific. I mean, it's like proper scary. I remember watching
first
that
one's
with my
the
kids.
Sandy
and
guy
thinking,
scared the shit out of me in the first one when I was a kid. Like, and it was spooky, very cool. And Rasputin.
Yeah, Von Hood saying the
Interesting.
second is
Okay,
far
I'll have
better
to
than
watch
the
the.
first.
I'll have to
one.
watch the second one then. Yeah.
We'll watch it for I could view this all day. We'll stick it on the list. We'll do it for that, mate.
Cool.
Well worth the watch. Then we get the trailer for this. Agatha all along. This kind of threw us with. It's very typical Marvel style in some regards, zany, and it looks a bit weird. But then there was proper horror elements to it as well, scary-ish looking stuff. I have to say, I wasn't particularly excited about the series. I've been quite negative about it, but I will definitely give this a go and see what I think. What about yourself?
For a couple of things. So it feels a bit too late for this to come about.
Agree.
It feels a bit unnecessary. Now, I would also argue that Andor was a show nobody really wanted or asked for, and it's wound up being one of the best Star Wars things ever. So this could end up being great. The thing that concerns me is, like, when the trailer started, it had this very true detective-y vibe to it. It's very dark, very serious. And then the Marvelness of it kind of started to come in, and the jokes and the fun parts and stuff. And I was a bit like, this just tonally seems all over the place, to the point that I'm like, this could be another Acolyte. This could be another, this show doesn't know what it wants to be. So I think that could be the problem. I do like the look of the spooky stuff in it, because I love my spooky stuff. My favorite parts of, like, when you see Wanda, Scarlet Witch in Marvel stuff, it's when she's like a spooky witch. So if this has lots of that in it, I think that's quite cool. But I feel like you're gonna have horror bits and then funny bits and then back to horror. It's just not, it's gonna feel consistent tonally. I would rather this be dark and serious.
Yeah, give us again, and I've said it before. Give us a horror anthology each episode.
But also, this is my favorite element of Marvel, of what the MCU has done so far, is literally the Werewolf by Night, the horror-y stuff, and some of Moon Knight touched on it. So this is the banging that door wide open, I guess. We're going to see these demon-y characters, these monster characters and stuff.
They've just got to get that balance right, haven't they?
So, yeah. So I'm cautiously... No, I just have no opinion, really. I'll wait till it comes out. We'll see.
Wait and see.
But it's, it's the Halloween special, I guess, so hopefully it's good.
Von Hoot saying it's Marvel's MO, though, isn't it? Captain America 3 should have been made 5 years ago. Agree with that completely. Trailer today came out. Interesting.
What's Cap 3?
Yeah, it's Captain America 4 technically, isn't it?
Well, technically, it is Captain America 4.
Well, yeah.
Brave New World?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Brave New World should have come out however many years ago.
Well, I mean, like what when you had Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we're pivoting. It's a horror show, Peter. When we had Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that Captain America movie should have been within a year.
Yeah.
So like this should have been within a year, one of it, but they didn't know this character was going to be so popular. But now nobody remembers who this is. So
yeah,
it's sort of strange. Yeah.
I'm sick of watching a season to get 2 good episodes.
I think
Fuzzy
that's very fair, Fuzzy. Yeah, I think
Cough,
absolutely.
Acolyte, cough.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not even 2 good episodes. Yeah, and One Hoot's confirmed. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to talk about this?
Well, this is just a trailer, isn't it? That's so.
We'll talk about the trailer. Okay.
Heartbeat trailer.
Yeah.
Did you watch
So
this?
I've seen the Heartbeat trailer, but I've seen the
Okay.
film as well, obviously. So yeah.
Okay, are we talking about the movie as well?
We'll talk about the movie.
I had
a
as
little
a,
bit
I had as a
later on.
topic the heartbeat thing. Yeah.
So we talk about the Heartbeat thing. We'll talk
Okay.
a little bit about the movie later on.
So as I had mentioned earlier, I think the marketing for this film has been fantastic. So a trailer came out last week, and it is so Michael Monroe is the actress that plays the lead character in it, and they hooked her up to a heartbeat monitor for when she recorded her first scene with Nicolas Cage in the film, and the trailer shows a part of that scene, and so her heartbeat goes do 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 do, and just she gets like she's getting scared, more and more scared. So her resting heartbeat is like 80 beats per minute, and she gets up to like 190 or something like that. So like she was terrified by his performance in it. I think that's a really cool thing to do, you know. I think that's a really clever marketing thing that like even the actress was terrified of him doing the film. Interesting in the film that the heartbeat's not in it, so they either hooked her up just for the to have that trailer, which means they were thinking that far ahead with the marketing, or that was going to be part of the scene that wasn't. I was actually a little bit I think it added a cool element to it, but I guess fair enough, like the scene's great anyway, but yeah, just really clever, really cool piece of marketing, I thought, you know, made me more excited to see it.
Yeah. It's a cool trailer. It is a very cool trailer. Did you believe it? Did you believe that's what they've actually done?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
What's that
I'm not.
face
I'm,
for?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think
Marketing?
it's great. I think it's great marketing.
That's so
Don't-
no.
I just don't know whether I believe it. And having watched the
believe
film, I even less believe it.
that they actually hooked her up to it. Yeah, you don't think that's a heartbeat? That they actually? No.
No. Well, and I'll touch on it a little bit.
I hope it
later
is.
on
Okay.
Before we
I
do
hope,
a
I hope,
review.
I hope it is anyway. If
But the
I
trailer
believe
is
Micah.
very
My
good.
trust in Micah. So, 'cause I love Micah.
Yeah. Okay,
I don't
moving
think she'd lie.
on. Moving on. This is very cool. I think I've mentioned this before, but again, just to encourage people to go and check out over on Netflix. This is My House. Just a stunning story. I don't know if you've seen this one, James. This is about a refugee family.
Oh, you didn't really mention this.
Yeah, who flee their home, travel the sea, and it's horrific seeing the scenes of that. Get to the UK. The way the threat is quite hard to watch if it's true. Do you know what I mean? If that's what happens to these people. And then they get put into a house, basically, and they're told, this is your last chance. You've got to live here. If you fuck this up, you're deported, basically. And then when they're in the house, all kinds of stuff starts happening. They start seeing ghosts. The walls start falling down. They see the people who died on the boat trip over, and there's a great twist at the end in terms of ghosts and things like that. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a hard watch, but it kept us gripped all the way through. And there's some genuine jump scares in this. I'd love you to watch it, James, to feedback, because there are, you know, we've talked a lot recently about horror films and how it's not floated my boat or whatever. This had some genuine kind of shit moments where I literally got a fright, you know,
How long is it?
which was great. It's just an hour and a half or something. I don't think it's
Just a
not
movie. I
long.
thought it was a show. It's a movie.
Oh no, it's a movie. It's a movie.
Movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
a-
I give it a watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had
very,
time for
very
a
cool.
show, but if it's a movie, I'll give it a
Yeah. Von Hood, it's not exactly a bar of laughs, but it's pretty well made. Absolutely Von Hood. Absolutely. But it's worth watching. I'd recommend
My House,
on
it's called,
Netflix. I'm sure it's called My House, yeah. Well worth checking out. Me and James have come to blows tonight. So this is
so we
what's this film called, James? What's this film called, James? Without looking at your notes.
In a Violent Nature, it's called. So this just came out today, but Peter got to see this the other week. In a previous screening, I only got to see it today. So for those who don't, we record our spoiler review and you'll see it in a couple of days. But so the concept of the movie, I think it's a really clever idea. Peter doesn't. It's effectively a Friday the 13th movie, but from Jason's perspective. So you're following Jason character. Like they change a couple, like they tweak it for copyright reasons, obviously. But like his character's name is Johnny, but he's zombified. He's resurrected because these two dumbass teens take a locket or something that's like he's a curse thing. It's very vague about it, but it just follows him going effectively from person to person, and in the background all the kind of the story of like a Friday the 13th movie is happening while he's going like kill to kill and story beat to story beat. I really liked it, loved it. I thought it was great. I had a blast. Peter, what did you think?
Bullshit. It's absolute dog shit. Absolute steaming turd of
Now, my theory is that Peter just doesn't get it. He just doesn't.
I mean, what you
understand.
said to us on the video of
Appreciate
this
it.
recorded is that I wasn't clever enough to understand the artistic nature of the film.
Exactly.
I said
You don't
I just want to be
appreciate
entertained.
art. Yeah. Oh, why isn't there music? Why isn't he killing people more? He's just walking through the woods.
Look at how pretty the trees are and the way the cameraman's hit the light on the branch. Who gives a shit?
I will admit, so Peter didn't like the ending, and I also didn't like the ending. Like, there's a scene that just goes on for ridiculously too long. But, like, I was told that there would be, like, extended sequences of just walking through the woods, like, 5 minutes a pop. And there's not. There just isn't. Like, it's a thing will happen, and then you have
We're
20
recording
seconds of walking through the wood, and then another
20
thing
seconds.
happens.
You've upped it from 8 seconds earlier. Yeah, right.
I didn't say 8 seconds. I said 20 seconds.
Did you?
They're like 10 to 20 seconds between story beats.
Listen, stop. We're just repeating what we've just gone through before we went on the
Okay.
show, and we nearly came to blows.
Okay,
So the people, the great public, can watch our review, and then when this comes out on Shudder, if they want, they can watch it and they can tell me what they think. We can have a viewers review section. They can come back and tell me what they thought.
Fuzzy, it's called ambiguity, okay?
Oh,
It's
so
actually,
he's
it's actually not
James
bad.
is
It's
getting
not-
angry again.
You learn what the thing is and everything, so like it does explain it. But like I just really liked the vibes of it, man. I thought it was really clever. Like there's no, you have scenes that would be just a generic Friday the 13th scene, but with no music. It's just like this is what this really looks like when this happens. Like in what it would
I will
look
give
like
it.
if
It's
was
got.
real.
I will give it. It's got 1 or 2 decent kills in it. Like very inventive.
It's got
kills.
one very fucking elaborate kill. I was like, that went on for a minute. I was quite surprised, but yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. So I went in with zero expectations because Peter had chat on it all week, and I thought I had a blast. So, and the people on my screen seem to have a blast. So, this is sort of a coin toss.
You said people
if you
were
want to see
laughing, James. You said people were laughing at the horror.
at the funny bits.
Yeah.
Like the
Anyway, let's
acting is
move on.
bad, but the
Let's
acting's
move
supposed
on.
to be bad because the acting in a Friday the 13th movie is bad. Like so it's an homage to that.
Yeah, Maxine. We've seen Maxine now, and again, we had different opinions on this.
We also disagreed on this one, didn't we? I loved it. I think I mean almost the same as the other movies. The ending is sort of the problem for me. I was just loving it up to that point. I still really like it, but it just falls a bit flat at the conclusion. And I think there's more problems with it than I think X has, for example. But I think Mia Goth is phenomenal. I thought Kevin Bacon was amazing, and young Carlos Visita. All the cast were fantastic. I just like the glitzy 80s Hollywood vibes in it. Like it's a kind of a noir sort of thing. Not very horror-y actually. Like there's only a couple of like slasher kind of sequences in it, but like I
Good ones, but good ones.
yeah, I really liked it. What did you think, Peter?
It was all right. I'm not going to say it was crap because it wasn't crap, but it out of the 3 of them, I enjoyed X more. I think I enjoyed Pearl more than this, but I need to go back and rewatch Pearl because I can't
I remember you
remember.
not liking Pearl. You
Yeah,
said
I
you
know,
didn't
but I think-
like Pearl.
But I think I didn't like it. I think I was messaging you saying, "Oh, what the hell is
It's too
this?"
weird.
But no, that was before it ended, and I quite liked the kind of the last when she starts killing people, and you get that
Right,
level. I think I enjoyed that element of it. But I need to go back and watch it. This is okay. This is worth a watch, I think. But don't go in expecting like a slasher horror kind of thing. It's not really that. It's more of a crime noir kind of thing, I think, with some
Mystery
gory
kind of
bits in
thing.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a horrific ball popping scene earlier on, which is one of the most
I would
graphic
argue
things
that's a
I've seen.
spoiler
Which means
here, but like there's a moment where every man in my screen, and I'm sure Peter's as well, just hunched over. Ugh! Like that, you know. Might be one of the most graphic things I've ever seen put to screen like that.
It's rough.
So, yeah.
It's rough.
Thanks.
Okay, so speaking of Maxine, we filmed a review of Maxine with our good pal Super Sorrel over on his channel last night or the night before, and that's now live over on his channel, so you can go and check that out. It was a good fun conversation, so please do check that out. But during the course of the conversation, and I'm not really explaining to James what we're doing tonight, but during the course of the conversation, we got to talk a little bit about one of our favourite films from last year, Talk to Me. And surprisingly to both of us, Sorrel said, "Cack, it's one of the worst films I've seen. I think it's rubbish."
Yeah.
And we were like, "What? You can't possibly be talking sense, man, you crackers." And then, as you've just seen tonight, me and James have nearly come to blows about a film we've both seen, and we both disagree. And it kind of got us to thinking about what are the films that generally you're an outsider on. So generally people seem to love, and you're thinking, I just don't get
the one that you're gonna pick for me.
Yeah.
Here.
So I've put one in for you, James, so you've got thinking time. But I thought I would go through a few of mine. But we've got a couple one that I think you will think, but you can think of some as one. And please let us know in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this on the rewind. What's a film you just don't get? You don't understand why people sing its praises and talk about how great it is. And when you're watching it, you just think, this is cack. I'm going to start off. I don't get Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I know that's madness for a horror channel. And I think I probably use this more as an example of the kind of horror I don't particularly get, which is the over-the-top slasher kind of horror.
Yeah.
I like my murderers. I like my screams to an extent, that kind of stuff. But Texas Chainsaw, I just never, I don't know. And I've watched it. I've tried. To be fair, I've not watched some of the sequels. But that first film, I've tried to watch a couple of occasions, and it doesn't do it for us. And people go mad about it. It's one of the most cosplayed kind of characters around. People think it's the be-all and end-all. It ain't for me. What about you, James? Are you a big fan of this particular one?
No. I've just as a so I it's been so long since I've seen the original one. Like I like 15 years plus. I don't remember that much about it. So the first one is regarded as a classic, and I'm sure if we'll probably get to it, and I'll be right back at some point, and I'm sure I will like it then. I don't like the franchise because it's just too dirty and too grungy and too pessimistic, I guess. Like I just don't like kind of hillbilly horror, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've just never been a fan of this franchise, and the annoying thing is that like I love almost every other horror franchise, and this is the only fucking one that they keep making. Do you know what I mean? There's a Texas Chainsaw movie every 3 years.
Yeah.
And they're all bad. They're all terrible. Like except for like I would argue the original one or the remake I think is pretty good as it goes. But
interesting you're saying about hillbilly type ones, because I like Deliverance. I've seen that. That's hillbilly. And Wrong Turn's one of my favourites. So I don't think it's that I don't enjoy.
Not in love with Wrong Turn. Never really. The second one I watched for shits and giggles because it's so bad. But like Wrong Turn, I've not been that big on. Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, I like
just never really connected with that one either. That's why I put that in that kind of genre as well. I know there's a big one that we disagree on.
I've got a slide next.
I am
That's
certain
what we're going to talk about.
Is it the next one?
Yeah. Just before we get into that one, just going to jump to the chat. It's worth saying that this is always very emotive, and we're probably going to put some images up, or there's people going to say stuff, and other people are going to be upset because they're like the favourite film. I know I've purposefully picked a few that I think will rile people. So just go with it. But a few people are jumping in the chat. A few people are mentioning things that aren't horror, but I think it's great examples of it. Fuzzy saying Lord of the Rings.
How dare you?
You, James, was going to do that.
How dare you, Fuzz? That's scandalous. Lord of the Rings is a masterpiece.
True story. And I'm hoping that neither of them watch this show. I don't think they will. But my daughter has got herself a new boyfriend, and he's very pleasant and very normal. And I said that like it's a massive surprise, and it is. But Jessica came home the other night. She goes, "Dad, he's making us watch all of the fucking Lord of the Rings." She goes, "I'm sitting there watching something with people in big feet walking around looking for a ring. She goes, I'm only through the first one. We've got like 3 more to go. So I said, no, you've got like 5 more to go. Haven't you? Isn't the 3
You
Hobbits?
gotta watch 2 and 3. I'm assuming they're extended editions as well. So they're 4 hours above.
She was mortified.
Yeah.
Mortified.
And then you got 3 Hobbit movies to go as well. And then he's probably going to squeeze in Ring of Power. So yeah, you got that. Yeah. Long way to go.
And then Fuzzy Joker. Yes, he may
love
be
Joker.
good, but I've seen that story way too many times.
No, I love Joker. I feel like people have sort of, I think at the time, everybody loved it. Everybody sang its praises.
See,
And
I don't think
since then, people have kind of started shitting on it.
I think. Okay, I'm going to be really honest here, and again, people may take exception to this. I think sometimes people are almost bullied into having an opinion. So I don't remember particularly singing the praises of Joker, but at the time there was such intensity about how amazing it was.
Masterpiece.
I remember doing some shows and being kind of felt like you were an idiot if you didn't agree with how amazing it was. It's a good film. Don't get us wrong, it's a good film. But I don't think it was as good as people make out, if I'm honest. Dead Man saying, I know it's not horror, but I've never known what people say in Pulp Fiction. Wow. That's an interesting one, Terry. I mean, I would say I like Pulp Fiction. I think that's a good film. You seen that one, James?
Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my favourites.
Yeah, I think it's a good one. But I get why you might not like it, Terry. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a great film, but it's not a barrel of laughs. TCM2 is one I don't get. People love it, and I always think it's a mess. Yeah. Hills Have Eyes remake is a masterpiece. Agree. I love The Hills Have Eyes. When the again, correct us if I'm wrong, Von Hood, because my brain muddles a lot of them up sometimes. That's the one where is it the dad's tied to the tree when the camper van thing stopped and they set him on fire, and it's just horrific, absolutely horrific. Absolutely, Fuzzy, 1000% agree with you. I'm not a fan.
Disagree on that one, man.
Yeah,
I think Blair
I'm
Witch
not
is
a fan
great.
of Blair Witch
I like
at
Blair
all.
Witch.
It bored me rigid. Inception is a load of old shite. Agreed, absolutely agreed. I fell asleep watching Joker. Took me ages to get through One Piece. Yeah. Okay, now.
I knew it. I knew it was going to be Babadook. I fucking hate this movie.
Babadook.
Hate it. I've never been.
That's my Babadook.
I've never been as disappointed in a movie in my life. I remember the hype. This was sort of 2014. Like, this is when the artsy, elevated horror films were starting to become a thing. So It Follows, I think, had just come out, which was amazing. And this had so much hype around it. Everyone was saying it was one of the scariest things ever made. I loved the concept. I loved the storybook thing. I love the idea of it's a children's character that's like a demon's kind of taking the form of. I love the visuals of him. Terrifying. There was a jump scare in the trailer that was terrifying. So I was so excited to go in and just have the shit scared out of me. I just didn't find it scary. I hated the characters. And I thought the story was crap. And I thought the ending was crap. I just fucking hate it. I resent it now because I feel like I was robbed of that movie that I really wanted, you know? It should have been more of a Conjuring Insidious thing. I think it was trying to do something else. And I just didn't get it.
You see,
that might be me. That might be me, you know?
No, it is. I would use pretty much all of the words you used to me about that dog shit Jason thing, about the artistry of it and the, for this film. This is my version of that. I think this is a really, really interesting story. The little kid deserved to die. I would have liked the little kid to die because he's such.
I hate the little kid. I hate the mom as well. I want them both to die.
Yeah,
monsters should eat them. I think every scene with the Babadook is great. Like that's the thing. There's just not enough of it. He's barely in the fucking movie. Yeah, you know, and he doesn't feel like a presence throughout it like he should. So just bitterly disappointed. I thought it was terrible.
Yeah, Fuzzy saying,
I was so excited, man. I was pumped. We were jumping up and down going to go see it. We were so happy.
Fuzzy says you're wrong. I agree. I mean, I love
Just
the
crap.
Babadook just because I just love the aesthetic of it. I love the story. Interestingly, I looked
that's what they call it in Scream. That's what the genre is, you know.
I looked the other week because a friend of mine, Alan, who's an artist, picked up when they did the Babadook. They did a Kickstarter for the actual book, handcrafted, kind of individually made copies of the Babadook book that they use in the film, but they're going for like £500-600. I love it. It's very cool.
So, I want that. I'd love them to make a sequel because I'd like to see them do this character right. Because they didn't do it the first time.
I bought Signs on recommendation on one of your videos. Believe it was someone's favourite. I tried 3 times and fell asleep within the first half hour. What did I miss?
I think you recommended that, didn't you? I didn't recommend it.
No, that was you. That was you.
I've not seen it.
That was you.
So,
Yeah.
I know the tinfoil hat scene, and I know how they beat them.
Yeah.
Like what the weakness of them is, but yeah,
100% unsettling throughout. I agree with that, Fuzzy. It's unsettling. Yeah.
just bored. Hate it. Now we're gonna start a row now.
Evil Dead 2.
This is gonna be fists thrown now.
Yeah.
Go on.
So I watched this. Actually, I watched this during COVID. I think we'd been talking about. Did I buy? I did. I bought a 1/6 scale Ash figure, didn't I?
Ash, yeah.
And then watched this. I bought the 1/6 scale Ash figure with the memory of Ash in my head from how much I love that character. Bought the figure and then thought, well, I'll go back and rewatch some of the movies whilst I'm off. And I think I started off by watching the remake of Evil Dead, which is really gritty and gory, you know, the kind of more modern version.
Yeah.
And then I went back and watched this. And I thought, what the holy shit is this, cack? It just didn't work for me at all. The stop motion was awful. The acting was awful. Bruce was awful. It was the definition of kind of cheesy, low budget shit.
I can't share the screen with this fucking guy anymore. What is this? What the hell? What was that? What the fuck was that?
It's truth.
I can't believe you just said that. That's
I'm speaking
scandalous.
my
Steve.
truth, James. I'm speaking.
Well, your truth is
my
fucking
truth.
wrong.
Well,
I bet you go back
actually-
and watch. You go back and watch it again.
Von
No,
Hoot's with us.
no.
Von Hoot's with us. It's fun, but not as good. It's fun.
Like if
but
I was,
not as fun.
I remember I saw Evil Dead 1 in the cinema like for an anniversary thing, and it's decent, but it's not a patch on the second one. It's just a math. Like the second one is one of the best movies ever made.
Fuzzy can give you more examples of YouTube channels I don't get that everyone raves about. Yeah, I can list off a few as well, Fuzzy.
Yeah.
So yeah, Evil Dead 2 for me. Maybe I just
Was it just too silly?
I think I had watched.
I
it
like the
literally
zaniness of it. Like
I think I'd watched it the day after I'd watched the remake, and the remake was like proper horror.
you gotta go start. You gotta go front to back. You can't go back. You can't do that. You can't work your way backwards. You have to go forward.
I didn't go back and watch Army of Darkness, mind, because I was scared. Because in my head, I love that movie. But I
will
probably need
say-
to go back and watch that.
I think his shtick gets a bit old in Ash versus Evil Dead. I would have liked that show to have been a bit more serious than it. Tonally, I didn't like what they went for with that. Not I didn't like. I was a bit disappointed when I heard they were making an Evil Dead show. I was really hyped, and the tone of it and the style of it, I wasn't that big of a fan of. So, yeah, it's a masterpiece though.
Von Hoot, depends what you want. The slapstick comedy, Evil Dead 2 is better, but as a horror movie, original is the best. Yeah, I think that's fair. Terry saying Army of Darkness was the best because it didn't take itself seriously in any way. See, I don't count. And maybe that's the problem. I don't count Army of Darkness as a horror. It's more like one of those silly action films from the late 80s, you know?
I have never really loved Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
I like it. I'd like it. I just don't love it. Like,
Oh, can't share the screen with that dick. Oh.
it's not Evil Dead 2, is it? Not Evil Dead 2. No, I just, you know what I mean? It moved too far away from the horror for me. I know that's why some people love it, but that's one of the reasons I'm not that fan.
Filth.
So yeah,
Filth. Should we really upset the people, James? Should we really upset the people?
go on.
I went back a little while ago, and I think I've told the story before, but I went back because my son irritated us by saying he liked a remake of something. So I went back and said, no, that's bollocks. The original is by far the best. It's superior.
It's Ghostbusters,
and I
isn't
made him watch it.
Yeah.
And it was a struggle, mate. It was a hard watch. It was a hard watch.
Don't dislike, but I just never had an attachment to Ghostbusters really, and I watched them as a kid. I just never loved them really. Like,
I think that's a great point. It's not that I dislike it. What I don't get is people's kind of
adoration and obsession.
Yeah, adoration
and,
for it. Yeah.
I'm right there with you on that one. Yeah, I agree.
It's all right. It's a decent flick, but I don't see why.
I like the idea
such
more
a
than I like the
movie.
actual movies, though. I like the video game because it's you going chasing ghosts and stuff. Like that's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just never been.
Okay,
cared for it.
last one. Bit of spoiler. Film we've just watched today. I suspect Longlegs. I suspect you're going to say that you absolutely loved Longlegs. This is Nick Cage and his Longlegs makeup. Nah, it didn't float my boat. So to hear me and James,
My life. I'm. What? What? Are you serious? Christ.
Yeah.
Take this out. I'm insulted by this on the screen. Tell me you have an actual Longlegs fucking slide to put up when
No,
we talk
that
about it.
is it. That's Nicolas Cage's makeup from Longlegs. That's what he looks like. You look like a fucking spitting image puppet.
Okay, Longlegs. We're going to talk very briefly because we have to record a spoiler thing, so I don't want to know everything. You should have saved this for the review. I don't even know. No,
Well, I didn't put it on for the discussion. I put it on to say that, you know, even modern films, I think, you know, we will sometimes disagree on, and we've had that already. Fuzzy's saying he's over. Yeah, Bill Murray. Yeah, seen enough of it.
End the show.
So,
We have to go talk about this now afterwards.
I'm
You can see our argument, guys. Tomorrow evening we'll be talking about Longlegs. I don't believe it. I'm actually stunned.
I'm not saying I hate it. We'll do a review, guys. We'll do a review. So check that out. We're going to do that. But yeah, we'll do that.
I don't even know how to react.
That's been our show. So that was one good
Possibly the
scare.
last one. Possibly the very last one good scare.
I have spent what feels like a lifetime trying to edit a very interesting interview I had with this chap, the writer of Wishmaster. It's quite a lengthy video, ladies and gents. So if you want to watch it or listen to it as a podcast or something like that, it works just as well. But this guy has got some incredible stories, some real interesting insights into how the movies get made, I guess you would say. So it's worth listening to. James is just fiddling on with some of the audio, so hopefully we'll have this up this weekend or
I
Monday,
assume,
Tuesday next.
and Peter will push in the description the chapters of what questions we asked and his answers.
Will I shite?
yes,
No,
so
I've
you
spent
can-
more than
you
enough
can skip
time
to the
on this
questions.
hour and a half video. Yeah,
So
so no,
we'll stick this up. We'll stick this up as a premiere, and I'll be in the chat
yeah.
chatting away. So this will be up this week.
I'm free all Sunday. If you want to try and get it done for Sunday, we can maybe do it Sunday.
It'll take 10 minutes to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, please do check that out. It's an interesting discussion with a Hollywood,
Very nice, very nice guy.
Hollywood legend, really. What else have we got on the channel, James? What else do you want to mention?
Our reviews, spoiler reviews for our spoiler fucking arguments for Longlegs and In a Violent Nature will be this week. So Longlegs I think tomorrow, and In a Violent Nature but be Tuesday or Wednesday. Peter Atkins will be during the week, and then we also have I'll be right back on Fright Night Part 2. So that is going to be probably more like Saturday or Sunday, I think. Have you watched it yet?
Not yet. No, not yet.
Yeah, okay. It's on YouTube anyway. So if you guys want to watch it on YouTube, and let us know in the comments what you think.
When are we recording that?
During the week, I haven't decided. Don't know yet. Tuesday.
Because I want to watch. The one for. What you call it? I can view this all day as well. So we'll do the two together.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
That's
I
think so.
Just see if that's
Can't
always a
believe
pleasure,
we did
lads.
this
Thank you,
long,
Von Hoot.
actually. Thank you guys for joining us. This is great. I'm a bit heartbroken though.
I'm scared to switch this off because I think we're going to get into fisticuffs.
I'm
Aren't we?
gonna attack you. I'm so angry. No,
And-
opinions. Okay, and
Anything you want to add, James, before we go?
whether or not it's Halloween or you're heartbroken, I think everyone's entitled to one good scare.